This next interview is going to be interesting. I actually first read it and thought, is this for real or is this like a science fiction novel? No, it in fact is real. In 2023, Japanese billionaire entrepreneur Yusaku Maezawa, he is planning the first ever civilian lunar mission. Yes, it's true. A whole trip to the moon. And guess what? He's taking some very talented artists with him, potentially the gentleman you're about to meet.
Absolutely. His name is John Carmichael. He was raised here in Vegas, but frankly, he's been everywhere, and he's joining us now. He's a photographer and a dearMoon finalist. How are you, sir?
I'm great. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Doing so well. It is great to have you, man. Honest to God. I mean, this is such a unique thing. So this billionaire is essentially going to fly some really creative people to space. That's where you come in. You're into photography. What made you want to do this mission? What inspired you to do this?
Well, I've always loved astronomy and the natural world. And what got me into photography was, the world can be a challenging place. Life can be hard sometimes. And the natural world and the curiosity of the cosmos always made me get through it all a lot easier. And when I realized I can capture that feeling and that perspective and share it with others is when I accidentally fell in love with photography and never realized I would do it as a career one day. So I think that's why this mission means so much to me is because, you think about the photo Earthrise from 50 years ago,
Yeah.
and that changed the world. And imagine how far along photography has come. And astronauts have always said, wow, this is so incredible. They should have brought an artist, they should have brought a poet. It's so impossible to describe the beauty of that perspective when you see the world as one, when you see the world from that outside perspective. And you don't see any countries, you don't see other races or religion or anything. It's this uniting feeling that you get that a lot of people call the overview effect. So I would be so honored and thrilled to be able to see that for myself, of course, but also to be able to document that and share that with others when we return back to Earth.
So, John, you were telling Sean and I, you have some ideas of how to make this mission like a little different. Like you have an artistic vision.
Yeah, I keep on. Obviously, I'm very excited to shoot what's outside the Starship window and see the Earth and the Moon up close. I mean, that would be incredible. But I think what's more important is actually going to be documenting the fellow crew members on board. I have a ton of ideas of what we can do. We're going to be experiencing the most awe-inspiring moments of our lives, and to be able to capture those moments and share that with the world so everybody else can live vicariously, I think will be really important. And I have some ideas like, a portrait of each artist, floating in front of the windows with the Earth or the Moon behind them, with their artistic tools floating around them in zero gravity. I think those types of things will be really amazing, and obviously group photos and things like that, but also just live candid documentation. I've had the honor of traveling all over the world, documenting a diverse amount of humanity and diverse cultures, from third world countries all the way to presidential and corporate events and everything in between. And what I've realized is that we're all so similar in our human nature. And that's why I'm so excited that dearMoon has made diversity such an important part of this mission.
That's pretty awesome. Here's the thing: you've in your job, you've been able to work alongside and meet some really incredible people too. You've met Obama, the Dalai Lama, Elton John, Obama, Dalai Lama. Like honestly, they should all rhyme. Actually,
Folks
that'd be
at
nice.
NASA.
How cool is that? And do you think any of them know that you're trying to go to space?
Yeah, actually, I don't know a lot of them directly anymore, but Elton John, I do know personally. He became the first collector of my art, and he
Wow.
collected 11 of my
Wow.
photos. And I didn't know at the time he's the biggest collector of photography in the world. So that was just, it's a long story how that happened, but it changed my life. And so I told him about the dearMoon project from day one 3 years ago when they first announced it, and he was so excited. And so I finally was able to tell him that I'm a finalist, and he's been so excited. So it's really amazing to have the Rocket Man himself, to have his support. And so I can imagine we might collaborate or something on it. You never
That'd be
know what's
cool.
possible, but
You know,
yeah.
listen,
So
drop a moon single on the world from Elton John. That'd be
Yes,
amazing.
yes. You can
Uh,
like provide all the photography for the video. It'd be awesome. No, we
that'd
can
be,
see that. Before we go real quick, and we're going to point again people to go to your website. Can we help at all, like vote for you, or is this not a vote situation? Is this the gentleman, the Japanese billionaire, Mr. Mizawa? Does he just pick this himself?
Yeah, it's all up to him. He's paying for the whole rocket,
Oh,
and
okay.
so Mr. Mazawa, he goes by MZ for short, and
Nice.
he's my
Sure.
hero. For him to come up with this idea and to pay for this rocket to go to the moon, and to come up with the idea to bring artists is just so amazing. So, yeah, it's all up to him. So if anybody wants to show support, just reach out to him on Twitter or on Instagram or something, and vouch for me if you want me to go.
yeah.
Well, and I tell you what, we would be absolutely thrilled to see a Las Vegas local up on that mission. Super, super exciting. By the way, on your website, John Carmichael, and John is Jon, some incredible photography. This is not your first time up in the air taking pictures of the moon. Explain to me a little bit about the history of your work, because you, my friend, are very talented.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, you said up in the air. There's a photo I took of the Great American Eclipse in 2017 from an airplane, and I had that idea literally since seventh grade. I learned what a total solar eclipse was, and as when I became a photographer, I'm also a pilot. I love flying more than anything, and so with all those passions merged together, I had this idea years and years ago. I wondered if I could get up high enough, could I actually see the moon's shadow moving across the Earth at 2,000 miles per hour? And I was pulling my hair out trying to look at all the flight paths around the country and compare them to the moon's shadow path. And I took a big chance and I booked this flight on Southwest Airlines, and it worked out better than I could have imagined. The captain actually heard what I was trying to accomplish, and he actually turned the plane around 5 different times so I could get all the
Wow.
shots. And yeah, it was amazing. And I spent a whole year putting
Oh,
it all together. I took 1,000 photos that I kind of had to put together like a giant puzzle to fit it all in. And it
Wow.
changed my life. I released it publicly on the 1 year anniversary of the eclipse, and I can't believe
I
how it changed everything.
I
Yeah.
remember hearing that story and hearing about that shot in particular. Yes, that's pretty awesome. John, a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you
Uh,
so much for having me. I really
worth
appreciate this.
worth noting, by the way, if you go to John's website, johncarmichael.com, that's Jon, not John. Saves money if you have to build a sign, one less letter. That's a lot of money. You put in the
Appreciate
code
that.
dearMoon at checkout, you're going to get 20% off any of the prints that are on his website, johncarmichael.com. Very cool. Hope he goes to space. That'd be amazing.